Welcome, Cancer. This is your February 2021 reading, chakra reading. So we're going to take a quick look at the 7 main chakras, and there we go. So here's for your root chakra. We have 5 of Pentacles in reverse. These are really iridescent cards. Okay, so for the root chakra, you're actually getting over some fears of abandonment. Not completely, but you're beginning to realize that you don't have to either try to hold on to other people so tightly, or you don't need to fear being who you are, afraid that other people are going to leave or reject you because of you being who you are. Right? You might have, because relationships are a really big thing for you, Cancer. So, people pleasing, comes pretty easily to you, and you want to maintain your sense of self-esteem, which oftentimes can end up being dependent upon if you're pleasing other people or not. So you're kind of getting over that a little bit. So that's a good thing. I would encourage you to continue to do that. Be really, really aware of when that fight or flight kicks in. If you feel uncomfortable when you're stepping out of your, stepping into something new, stepping out of your comfort zone, and you are putting yourself out there. So it feels like you're doing that in a number of different ways. That might be with certain personal projects that you have, career, business. It feels like you're opening up is what I'm saying. That's what it feels like to me. You're stepping into who you really are, really getting to know yourself. You're feeling yourself, and that's a good thing. So let's take a look at the sacral. And we have 8 of Swords in reverse here. So again, you are also beginning to see where you're limiting yourself. You're beginning to see how your emotions can really get the best of you, and those are coming from the limiting beliefs that you've had. So you're really beginning to see that, because this is in reverse here now. However, it also feels though too that even though you're becoming aware of some of the programming in your head, the different thoughts that really were just more passed down to you, or even from past lives, it also feels though that you're still a little bit concerned about hurting other people's feelings for some reason. This is what I'm getting with this. And that can really put a bind on you if you're constantly worried about how someone else feels. That's not your responsibility. So you needed to hear that, that it's not yours to fix. It's not yours to prevent. Other people's emotions are that's their thing. Okay. You can't make everyone happy, and you're beginning to realize this as you're doing this thing, like we said in the root chakra, like you're stepping into who you are, and owning it a little bit more. So that's good. But you're gonna see how that kind of comes with the territory too, that you can't be responsible for how other people feel. So solar plexus, and it feels like there's some situations brewing, perhaps around friendships. Cancer. Okay, so let's take a look here. Solar plexus. So I'm going to show you. I got 2 cards here. So Page of Swords in reverse and King of Swords. This is interesting because with the solar plexus being the seat of our personal power and where we end up really taking action, there's this part of you that it's like you want to step into it, like you feel like your shit around a particular subject. So it's like you really want to step into that, but at the same time you might feel like other people are looking at you like you're a novice, and an apprentice, and you don't like that. So don't let don't let other people's perceptions of you get in the way of you taking action, because you're really only going to step into this King of Swords energy once you actually do. A lot of things that we a, a lot of things that we broach, they have to just be experiential, right? You have to have the experience in order to be the authority. So it's all going to be a learning project. You're not going to be an expert right away, so just be aware of that. But don't let other people's perceptions of you get in the way. All right, so heart, King of Wands. So in the heart center, you might be giving a little bit too much. So even though you feel like you have the capability to give, it feels like you might be giving a little bit too much, a little bit too much of yourself, and you're going to have to set a boundary around that. The other part that I'm getting with this in the heart center is that you be careful of your ego crossing over the line to who you are in the heart center, because our heart is where that infinite intelligence is, right? It's also where we tap into our higher self. So, you know, I could see how like the ego and the higher self can start dueling here. So just be careful to identify when that ego is kind of stepping, stepping or over or crossing that line, because we need the ego. We just have to integrate it, right? It's not about killing off the ego. We have to integrate the ego. So, because the ego is what allows us to do. However, there can be this thing that can step in when you do start to step into your own and kind of get to know more of you, get to know more about what you're doing, that can creep in, and you don't want the ego then to get into the way and then just infiltrate everything, all the work that you've been doing. And then, you, with the ego, you can end up making some mistakes or getting in your own way if it ends up taking over. Okay, so throat for Cancer, February 2021. Throat for Cancer. Okay, so the Lovers in reverse. So quite possibly your romantic relationship is going to need some words of affirmation here. Feels like the person that you're with is going to need that from you. You do that anyway. So what I'm going to say to this is don't be focusing on the problems in the relationship. Don't forget to express appreciation and gratitude. And your other, warm, fuzzy feelings too. But that might be taking a hit. So make sure that you say how you feel and appreciate the other person, okay, that you're with. Also, to remove any, if you start to feel a little bit insecure, remove any fear from what you're going to express before you express it. So meaning don't talk from a very insecure place. Not that can't be shared with your partner. What I mean by that, though, is sometimes when we come from a place of fear and we're talking, we end up either making rules, imputing other motives on the other person that aren't true, giving an ultimatum, like stuff like that. Not coming out and saying, well, I feel insecure about this. That's different. That's just being honest and sharing what is bothering you. But if you are, because of fear, saying things that you might regret, you want to be careful of that. Okay. So third eye for Cancer, please. Okay. Queen of Swords in reverse. Yeah, watch, again, this is the communication thing, kind of watch your tongue, because the things that you end up saying can, you can't take them back. So even though this is in the third eye though, the reason why I'm bringing that up is, the Queen of Swords, can sometimes be cold, blunt. And so remember though, that if you end up judging another person, it's usually because of something that you're seeing inside yourself that's either lacking or something that you don't like within or something that you've been doing. And it's kind of bothering you on an unconscious level, and then you see it in somebody else. Remember that other people are mirrors. So make sure that you aren't, make sure that you're seeing things clearly for, for what, for what's being shown to you, not just seeing things and then pointing the finger is what I'm getting. Interesting. Okay. And then, so crown chakra for Cancer, please. Crown chakra for Cancer. Crown chakra for Cancer. Crown chakra for Cancer. The Star card in reverse. Don't be alarmed with all these cards being in reverse, by the way. That, that's neither here nor there. Okay, so okay, with the Star card is about, like, having your wishes fulfilled. I mean, that's like the general universal read in the tarot. With this card, in order to have the fulfillment though of something, whether you are healing something, whether you are trying to accomplish something, you have to take ownership of the good and the bad. And I hate using those two words because of the labels, the connotations that people have. So when I say good and bad, we're talking light and shadow. We're talking, day and night of a person. So when it comes to you, you're really only going to be fulfilled if you own all of it, if you own your mistakes, if you own where you see where you've contributed to where you are now, as well as all the positives and the strengths that you recognize about yourself. You have to own all of it. It's a balance, because you see here that she's on the ground and in the water. So it's both. So you have to make sure to get to that next level in your consciousness and to heal. This is what it's going to take: ownership. Okay, and the crown chakra is all about owning. It's about not asking for permission. These are the things that I work on with my clients when I do energy clearings with them and I do chakra work. So you need to, in order to eliminate things once and for all, that means you have to own it. So comment below if this resonated with you. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in a personal read, you go to my website under plans and pricing. I do 45-minute look. So obviously a longer read than what you see here. And that's recorded and emailed to you. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.